You are now listening to Carlie's Couch.
I'm Carlie.
And I'm Lex.
In this podcast, we discuss a wide array of topics about life and how to live your best life.
Whatever that looks like for you.
Hope y'all enjoy.
Hey y'all, this week on Carlie's Couch, we're discussing all things letting go, alignment, and getting you right for this new year. And if you're watching the video, I have a very special guest. To my right, your left, Coach LaLa V. Yeah. Okay, a sad day without Alexia physically here. She was not feeling well, so shout out to Coach LaLa for stepping in. This is the first time that this has happened in 6 years, so big shout out to me and Lexi.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
Literally 6 years.
Dang.
Over 6 years, like 6 years and 3 months technically. We've never missed it, and so we're not going to miss this Monday. But she's here in spirit on our coffee cups. You can still buy those if you want to. They're nice and large for all of your yummy tea and coffee needs. Okay, so I said Coach LaLa's here, my homegirl, but let me formally introduce her to you. Niecia Vicknair, aka Coach LaLa V, the owner of Thrive Health Lab in LA, is a Howard University cum laude alum, as you can tell by her lovely crew neck here. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. NASA certified personal trainer, a Nike Wellness Collective trainer, a corrective exercise and nutrition specialist, amongst many other things. Her focus on fitness and community building led her to establish a boutique fitness studio in an underserved area of a predominantly Black neighborhood in South LA for over 7 years. Coach LaLa is following a purpose-driven path to create sustainable, safe, and heart-centered spaces for people in her community. After the loss of her father, LaLa started on this path of wellness and began with her own family. She built outdoor exercise classes, trained clients one-on-one, and partnered with local schools, businesses, and orgs to serve the community a healthy dose of uplifting experiences. Coach LaLa continues to educate and empower her community through a sense of social responsibility and personal commitment. LaLa is following her heart and continues dedication to improving the lives of others through her network.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so shout out to you.
Shout out to me.
You sound pretty great. How you feeling today?
Me?
You.
Or them?
You.
Oh.
I mean, I can't hear them, but y'all can tell me too.
I'm feeling good. Feeling great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad. Thanks for coming to hang out for a little bit. It's been a minute. You've been supposed to be on the couch for a long time.
Carlie is, you know what? I love her.
I received this. But I feel like everything always works out right on time when God wants things to happen. And so synchronistically, not that Lexi got sick so this could happen because she would have been here anyways.
I got her sick.
Yeah, there we go. But I just think it's such a good time of year, and you're at such a good place in your life to really delve into this topic of alignment and starting off the year intentionally and all these good things. But first, our question from the couch. So this week's question is, what is the best lesson that you learned this year?
The best lesson?
Yeah, I'm about to say, if you want to refresh what you commented on my question, it's right there. Go on ahead, Claire.
I am not.
Okay.
I am not saying that. That was a joke between us.
All right.
But really, the best lesson I feel like I learned is listening to my nervous system / intuition. Mm-hmm. More of my nervous system than anything.
I'll be excited to ask more questions about that later. Some other answers that I got are, I can only control myself, and scheduling my seasons of rest in my calendar has been a game changer. So absolutely, I think that's super important.
Mm-hmm.
Some other ones are, taking off the mask is so liberating, and in whatever spaces that you're doing that, I feel like it is. Write your own story, or someone else will try to write it for you.
That's a word.
What's that next one?
Done is better than perfect 85% of the time.
And it's a lot easier to perfect something after it's finished. Then some more people were fooling in my inbox. Don't delete the fit pics. Or feet pics. Not fit pics, but feet pics. But seriously, enjoy moments because life comes at you fast. I feel like my biggest lesson this year was centering joy and learning how to be intentional about my joy.
I think you've been very intentional. You've been very good at that this year.
I have. It feels good. I've been very excited about it. We'll talk about that more. So shout out to y'all for listening to our last questions from the couch and replying. Thank you for all the great answers, except for the feet pics because you're wild. But before we talk about letting go and getting into alignment, I want to reference episode 120, which is Lexi and I talked about clearing space in your life mentally, physically, digitally, etc. And we talked about steps. So
I'm going to sip my tea on that one.
Yeah. So if you want to go like for a more like formulated systems of cleaning up your life, you can go listen to episode 120. And then last year around this time, we had episode 224, which is New Year, New Me, perhaps. And we talked about 9 areas of our life and just kind of goals and things that we're sitting with. So if you want to be more reflective, go join that. But today we're here to talk about alignment. So there's a new moon in Capricorn on the 30th, so Monday. So today, the day that y'all are listening to this and tuned in. And it was funny because I saw that, and then I saw you post that alignment was your year of 2025.
Yeah,
or your word.
That's my word. Mm-hmm.
What does alignment look like for you?
Listen, at this ripe age and with experience, you know what's in alignment for you, whether that's in a relationship with your significant other, whether that's a career, whether that's where you're living, whether that's friendships. Like, you feel it in your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it in your intuition, especially as women, because we're very intuitive
100%.
and we fight it. Just making sure everything that I'm doing is in alignment, right? Even I'll give an example with work. I'm queen of like 100 jobs, right? But I have to be very intentional and make sure if I'm gonna have 100 jobs, they all need to be in health and wellness. I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna go over here and go do some interior design work because I know how to do that. No, it's not in alignment with what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go. So I have to like cut off those little other things that I was doing. Like, I don't need to be doing that.
Oh, and that also sounds like the first step to alignment is knowing yourself.
And knowing where you want to go, right? So it's the new year, new me, or whatever, improved me. When you write down and write your goals, you got this question, okay, this is my goal. Is this what I'm doing? If what I'm doing now, is that going to be in alignment to get me to my goal? If not, why are we doing it?
Questions that need answers.
They don't need answers. It's just be self-reflective.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't take the time to really reflect, though. There's a quote in education about there is no learning without reflection. And this world is so fast that a lot of people never stop. And so you can never reflect. And so you get caught up living a life that's not really where you want to be or who you want to be because you never actually stop to be like, this don't feel right.
Yeah. Or just taking time also to just sit back with things and be like, is that what I want to do? Meaning like being in the hustle bustle of life and doing things. Sometimes we're just moving so fast that we don't realize like, I actually don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out. I want to go sit on my couch and be one with the couch today. And I want to recharge.
I think that's so important. And I just saw a friend, my homeboy Brian, was posting that saying yes to things that you don't really want to do and being in spaces you don't really want to be in is like the death by 1,000 little cuts.
It is.
And you just allow yourself to bleed out and die everywhere.
Now, okay, I'll be devil's advocate on that one a little bit because there's some things like I don't want to do, but I do it off the strength of like a friendship, or if I know me showing up is going to mean something to you, I'll show up. But I'm not going to go to spaces I don't want to be in at all. Like that, that's the difference, right? I'm not saying don't do some of the things you don't want to do because in essence, there's a lot of stuff we don't want to do in life, right? But you got to do it. Like sometimes I want to do stuff and I'm like, listen, this might be a good networking opportunity. You better get up off the couch, go do what you need to do. But once again, is it in alignment? Is it in alignment with my friendships? Is it in alignment with who I am as a person? Because that's one thing I'm able to give is my time, but my time is valuable. So it's like a delicate balance. It's definitely a delicate balance that you have to like question yourself on.
I think it is. And the more you know yourself, the easier it is and the less you fight with it. And it's a yes and, because it's like sometimes you don't really need to be out. Like it would be fun and maybe you just have FOMO, but you just really don't need to be there.
And it doesn't have to be out like a party out. It could be like, I just don't want to be here.
And so you can leave. But okay, so getting back onto alignment. So knowing yourself, knowing where you're going, being able to start to set boundaries. That sounds like that was the next step. But then I think the leap that a lot of people might miss from alignment is really being able to let things go. So how do you know when it's time to let something go or not? Like what? Because I feel like you've had a lot of movement in a lot of motion in your life.
Listen, since 2019, I feel like a lot of people probably don't know my story. I own a gym. Went through the pandemic. We were the first to close, last to open. In general, across the states, like gyms were the first to be like, you gotta close. So I was constantly always pivoting. But since 2019, like pivot, no kind of rest at all, actually going into overdrive. And been letting go of things since 2019. Like I had to let go of a business relationship. I had to let go of a romantic relationship. I had to let go of a friendship. Like, I think what happens with me is when I feel like, and this is the part of the nervous system I was talking about, if I don't feel like at peace or like settled, or I feel like I have to put on armor to be around somebody, or if I feel like it's too much, like at a certain point, stuff should start coming at ease. Some stuff you gotta do work, but if it doesn't come at ease, stuff that is meant for you comes with ease. That could be anything. That could be your career. That could be not your results, not your, like, you gotta work out. You gotta go work out. You gotta work out. I'm definitely gonna plug health and wellness in here today. Like,
take your ass.
You're gonna have to be in alignment with what you want to do. Most of the time, you gotta go work out to do that. Okay, I'll plug that later. But I think for me, this year was really just listening to, like, what am I doing? Like, and everything. Like, even when I closed the gym, like, I was trying to make fetch happen, right? Like, I really loved what I did. I felt like I was, to a certain point, failing my clients, but then the math will stop mathing at one point. So I had to be an adult and be like, okay, well, are you going to keep digging yourself in a hole? Are you going to be in alignment? Because now you can't even serve the people you want to serve because you're too stressed about X, Y, and Z. You're trying to put together this programming. Like, find a different way, sis. Like, find a different way to share your gift and be in alignment with who you are. But for me, it's always, and this is what I'm working through in therapy, because I do go to therapy, is holding on to stuff for too long. And like, it's like, you already know, because you listen to your intuition. Is what I'm talking about. Listen to your intuition about stuff. And then if you don't listen to your intuition, your nervous system is going to kick in. You're going to gain weight. You're going to get acne. You're going to, like, be mentally drained all the time if you are not in alignment with what you need to do. So that's why my word is alignment, so that I can make sure I have a guiding light, a North Star, to be like, alignment. Is this an alignment? No, it's not. Okay, cool. Well, gotta go, guys. So, does that answer the question?
Yeah. I think
around a whole mulberry bush.
I'm about to say, well, we're going to go back around because I think you have some really good points. So your nervous system, like, looking at how you feel in certain spaces around certain people. And granted, like, people have ups and downs, but I think if you're consistently like, this shit ain't working, or feeling like fight or flight, or
that's like how I felt walking into the gym, to be honest. Towards the last few months, I would walk in there and I'd be like, anxiety, stress, like I'm supposed to pour into these people and I can't even pour into myself right now. I can't do this.
I also think that, like, you working in your gifts and you being where you're supposed to be is never at the expense of yourself. And I think that is when it's too much. Like, because people are like, well, how do I know when I should fight harder to make my gift work, or to make this thing or relationship or whatever work? If it is at the expense of you, it is always let go of that thing. It is never that thing.
You gotta let go of stuff to make space for the things that are meant for you. And let me tell you, God is not going to give you what you need if you keep holding on. Like, he gives you free will, right? But it's free will. So you could keep holding on to something. Like, that's cool, you're doing that, but I got something bigger over here if you want to keep trying to make fetch happen. And I'm like, all right.
But even, like, physically, if you have, like, envision like holding stuff, you can't get new things if you're holding on to old things. Your closet is stocked to the brim with clothes you don't like, that don't fit you, that you no longer wear. You can't buy new clothes, or if you do, it's going to be a mess. So even thinking about the physical implications of that. So if it's at the expense of yourself, it's something to let go. If it's like, is your nervous system is in overdrive, if it's not a healthy situation, any other signs that they should let something go?
I think it's still in alignment. Cause I've gotten rid of relationships this year, like friendships, relationships. Like, if it just seemed like you're saying this, but the actions are something totally different, I don't know. You know, like feeling safe around people, right?
Yep.
Like, I let go of friendship this year, just not fresh. Feel safe anymore. Like, I just don't feel safe. Can't trust you. So I'm going to just excuse myself and leave it at that, and don't even give an explanation. Out of here.
I think that's a good one too. If you can't be yourself, or you feel like you have to be somebody else, or show up in a way that is not maybe in alignment with who you are, who you want to be. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've let go stress-wise. I think getting to the bottom of why you're holding on to things. And you might be looking for validation or, like, confirmation, like feeling like you that one because that person chooses you, but you're not choosing yourself by being in that relationship. Or you might feel good working in this position and having a director title, but it might not be in alignment. It might feel good to say, yeah, I own a brick and mortar business, but if it's killing you, for what? For what? Like, I feel like a lot of times people hold on to these titles and spaces because they feel like it brings them value, whenever that's not what makes you valuable. You're what makes you valuable.
Bars.
Okay, so let's say that people are looking at their lives and they're like, okay, maybe I, need a new job. Maybe I'm letting go of this thing or letting go of this person. I'm closing off a friendship. How do you start over? What does that look like? And I'm asking because I don't think there's a handbook on that. Like, when it comes to relationships or a business or things, like when you let it go, like, what is starting over?
Well, I don't feel like I ever started over. I just felt like I pivoted. I felt like I had a slight plan, but people always are watching what you're doing. That's why you always just show up 110%, even if it's a small job or a big job. Like, so for example, when I let go of my brick and mortar, I still have Thrive Health Lab. I still serve the community, but it's in a different capacity. I had other opportunities open up for me that were literally just sitting there waiting because people thought I didn't have the capacity to take that on, even though that's what I was trying to do. I'll give more detail, right? So like, my goal is to do more corporate, nonprofit, schools. I had a team at the gym so I can source them out to them, but people in their mind didn't correlate Thrive Health Lab with being able to provide those type of services. It was like, oh, it's only a gym. No, it's not just a gym. I literally have used my network, connected with people so that I can get the best of the Black and brown. So when you need somebody to come to your school and talk to your Black and brown kids, I got you. You know what I mean? But when I closed the gym is when other opportunities started coming. I was like, oh, so everything that I had on my vision board in my manifestation book, it was there and ready. I just had to let go of what I thought I was supposed to be doing. But I think it's just a matter of like seeing what's going on. Is the impact still the impact, Or seeing what you're doing. I feel like there was a point in my life too recently, not even recently, a few years, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, once you're leaving a space, do you feel recharged? Do you feel refreshed? Or do you feel drained? And if you're leaving spaces, households, business partnerships, relationships, friendships, like, do I feel rejuvenated? Not that somebody has to provide that for you, but you shouldn't be feeling like, woe is me. I'm so totally drained. Like, I need 2 days to recover. From dealing with people. Now, don't get me wrong, as a trainer, and I know you know this too, and people I don't think realize this, that are not trainers. We pour into people all day, but people also unload on us because it's a very personal service. So like on Mondays, I don't work. You know that. I don't do no people. I sit right here and I might do busy work. I may do work, but I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see anybody because I have to recharge so I can be like the best me. So I think aside from that, I had to figure out what that was versus in general, just feeling drained when I'm around certain people, around certain atmospheres or neighborhoods or whatever it may be for you at home, right? Like, how do I feel?
Yeah. And checking in with yourself, like you have to get quiet and sometimes very still and sit with yourself. And sometimes a lot of times that can be very uncomfortable. But that way you really know who you are and you can do that check-in. Like, I was talking to someone yesterday at this Christmas party, and their therapist likened it to, does this spark me or does this wilt me? Like, if you're this beautiful little flower, does being in this space feel like sunshine or does it feel like it's draining the life out of you?
And everywhere is not going to feel like sunshine.
And it's not.
But it shouldn't feel like, today drained me. Today drained me. And I was starting to feel like that every day. Gym, everything. Like, today, I woke up, I'm drained just being here in this space today. Like, let me go back and start over tomorrow.
It becomes like a long-term burnout, long-term stress, as opposed to like momentary. Because again, relationships ups and downs, business ups and downs, entrepreneurship, hella ups and downs in the same day.
Oh my God.
And so it's just really being able to check in with yourself. But then you also mentioned setting boundaries. So you don't work on Mondays. That's a strict boundary, but that allows you to show
very
up.
Strict. I got clients like, well, can we just train on Monday? Absolutely not. Well, you're not going to be on Tuesday. Yeah, but Monday still no.
Yes,
still a no.
Still a no. I'm still working on that because I should be all over the place. But that way, if you take care of your best self and are doing all the things you need to do for you, then you can show up as your best self in all the spaces that you want to be in. And so as we move forward, we talked about boundaries, we talked about knowing yourself, we talked about how to like feel when things might be in alignment or not. So now planning. You mentioned that whenever you ended some things and let some things go, you had a little bit of a plan. What does planning for the new year look like for you?
I have a little manifestation book. I used to do vision boards, and I created a vision book. So it's continuous, right? Even if it's like in the middle of the year and I'm like, I need to revisit what's going on in my life. So I have my little areas, not my little areas, I have my big areas. I have like career, health, wellness, home, whatever it is I'm trying to focus on for the year. Relationships, travel, because that may be like, that's another thing for anyways.
People might have money.
Yeah, so yeah, money, finances, whatever that is, I have my categories. Then in categories, I'll put like, what's the goal, right? Then when I want to get detailed, which I do, and I don't do it all in one day because it could be a lot to do in one day. Then I do underneath what are some of the steps I can take to get there, right? And then what I started doing 2 years ago is I take that and I write it like a story. And I'd be like, oh, Niecia, you went and you traveled the world and it was paid for, but you were training and changing lives. Like, that's what I would do, write it into like a story and then like just read it and be like, oh, but I still have, because I'm a bullet point person, I have to have my bullet points and then I have the story. But a new one that someone just told me is after I write the story to like either read it every day or record myself reading it and then like play it while I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
So that it's like going into my mind, and whether you like it or not, because I have been doing this before Thrive. So what, like 10 years I've been writing down goals and what I want to do, how I want to get there. And when I tell you, I look back at stuff and I forgot I wrote it down. I'm like, oh, that did happen. I'll give examples. Like when I first became a trainer, I was like, workout clothes is my uniform. I don't want to pay for it though.
Yeah.
I was like, I want somebody to just give me clothes to work out in. And then Fabletics hit me up. I was like, okay, this is cute, but now I want to get paid. Like I want to get paid and I want more than just one item a month, blah, blah, blah. And I want to like have more of an impact. I want to have like somebody like Nike. I wrote this down. Boom. Last year I got signed to Nike. I was like, oh, wow. That's crazy. So this year I'm going to tell you what one of my goals is. I'm not going to tell you all of them, but now I love to travel. I love to travel the world. I think it's very humbling. I think it keeps you in perspective, especially being in the States and just learning different cultures. But I want to go back to traveling again because I kind of stopped for like a year or two. Pandemic. Realize that's one of my things that keeps me happy. Probably a lot of people who's traveling. I don't know. But I want to get paid. I'm putting it right here so I can look at this video. By the end of the year, I want to get paid to travel internationally, to train people, to train groups, one-to-many, do seminars, and to go to countries I haven't been to do this. Boom. That's like my big one. That's on my list for my career.
Okay, so I'm going to clip this up. So she has it, so you can listen to it, because look, you already told yourself what you want to do. But I love that, and I think that is the little extra that really brings things to manifest. So vision boards are great. If you're a visual person, cut out the pictures. You can do it on Canva if you don't want to, cut out
Put it in my book.
Put it in your book.
I put it in my book.
Take pictures, make a collage, whatever works for you, make a video. But it's the knowing what something is and then also bonding it with your heart coherence. That's what it's called. So thinking about your emotions, like when you travel, what does it feel like to get paid to live your dreams?
Oh, I also put that in my manifestation book. I put like how I'm feeling. Like I don't want to be balling. I have this bomb career and then I'm depressed. So I'll put like you're full of joy, love, light, like you're having a great time, like all those things. It works.
Absolutely, it does. And those are the two pieces. So being able to visualize and like see something, but also like in knowing what you want. So those are three of the prerequisites. But then also knowing how you're going to feel and practicing that emotion, because then you match the frequencies and it's able to come into your life. So I invite y'all to do a vision board, to think about that, to do scripting like Lala's talking about. I will link the episode that me and Lexi did last year on scripting, because we did like someone had it in a book and we did scripting, and it was like, it's 2025 and I'm with the Lord.
Oh, is that what it's called?
So yeah.
Scripting?
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. Get you a friend that knows stuff.
You know what I'm saying? And friends that are doing the work, that be manifesting they shit too, because it's super, super important. And then think about all the stuff that lights you up. Don't limit yourself. And then also recognize that we underestimate how much can happen in 3 years, but we overestimate a year. So maybe some of these goals don't happen within that first 6 to 12 month period. But as long as you're listening to it, watching it, thinking about it, meditating on it, whatever you do.
Doing the work.
Because stuff don't happen without the work.
Girl.
Yeah, that other stuff is real cute, but the work matters
you
too.
You gotta still do the work. You gotta still network. You gotta still do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna just fall in your lap.
Yeah.
Maybe it will. I don't know.
Look, I was about to say, because sometimes stuff do be falling in my lap and I received that. But also at some point, I know that I manifested it. I actually wrote down that I wanted to go to USC for business school. Forgot about it. Ended up at USC for business school. Was shaking out a journal and saw the page where I wrote it. And
that's
was
crazy.
Oh.
That's awesome. I mean, that same thing with Thrive Health Lab. I wrote down, like, before I even got my certification to be a trainer, I was like, you know what? This interior design degree is cute, but like, I feel like I need to be doing more. I need to be impacting my community.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got no gym. We need a community center. That's literally what I put. I didn't even put a gym. I said, I want to do a community center that's like health and wellness, where you can help people like really be the best version of them. And I was like, wow, I really wrote all that down. Wow, and it happened. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to be traveling the world by the end of the year, getting paid to get there. And it's going to be an all-expense paid trip as well. So my rent is still paid in the States. Then I got extra bread and the trip is paid for. So it's 3. You have to be specific sometimes. Like, don't invite me out there and be like, oh, we're going to fly you out there. That's your pay. No, it's not.
No. I need to be paid too.
Yeah, I still got bills at home. I got a mortgage.
Yeah. For the good of all and harm to none. And that's another, like, I think Louisa Marie Hayes, something that she talks about in manifesting. But when you're thinking about it, do the whole scenario, write that. Make sure, look, I got savings in my bank account. I'm not making dollar stretch. Like my homegirl was telling me she was an influencer. Mm-hmm. And they flew her out to Switzerland or something. Mm-hmm. And she only had $20 in her bank account. She was like, God, I'm praying that everything is covered this month. And so when you manifest and really think through, take some time. We might do another episode on like something else. I have to check in with Lexi and see what she's doing to get ready for the new year. But as we close out the end of 2024, I hope you take time to celebrate yourself and all of the good things that happened this year, because sometimes we forget and we can get really narrow in.
Which is another reason why to write down what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you look back at it and you be like, oh, I did do these things. Or get yourself a jar when you accomplish something and you dump it in there and you take it out. You be like, oh, I did do this. Oh, I did sign up for a triathlon and do it and crazy.
Gang. Or write notes in your phone, like, man, all the things you accomplished, like an add a girl folder, just to big up yourself if you're having a hard day, like feeling like, man, I didn't really do anything this year. Actually, look at all the shit that I did do.
Add a girl.
Right? Because my goal this year was to do a speaking or a teaching event for a large group.
Oh, and she did that. More than once.
I wanted to do one a month. That's what I'm saying. I want to get paid. Professional development, do one a month. I surpassed 12 back in June. Like, I was way over my stuff.
Oh, that's a flex.
You know what I'm saying? And so this year, I want to be traveling and paid as well. I'm going to have to figure out what that looks like for me. But I also want to do more of what I'm doing, helping teachers feel more confident in themselves and strong to show up and then love on everybody's kids in a better way, because this world can be tough. But doing more leadership trainings.
The kids need it. LaLa love the kids, by the way.
Mm-hmm. CC do too. And the kids love us most of the time. Sometimes they can't be bothered. But manifesting that work too, and also working with La. If y'all follow me on social media, it's so funny. In LA, because Niecia is from LA, and I'll meet people and they'll be like, I know you. And I'm like, I don't know you. And they're like, oh, you're LaLa's friend.
You get posted.
Yeah. And so, shout out to LaLa for helping me network, because people be thinking that they know me. Before
they do know you. They be like, you do yoga or something?
Mm-hmm. Lots more than that, but
a lot more. That's like surface level.
Yeah. So we're going to spend some time working on our manifestation books and celebrating ourselves. And so I challenge you. So think about, what are your goals for the new year? Celebrate yourself. Take some time. Do that first, and then start thinking about what you want for the new year. And then really work on getting in alignment. I'm going to try to run through the steps again, so please chime in if I forgot any. Mm-hmm. So really getting to know yourself, knowing your goals, noticing how stuff makes your nervous system feel, how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, checking in with your intuition, and then starting to let go of things that consistently don't make you feel good or make you feel bad or make you feel like you can't be yourself or choose yourself. Starting to set boundaries, start letting stuff go, which creates more space for newness and new magic and amazing things that are in alignment in your life. Did I miss anything?
No, you said the writing down the script too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cool. Do scripting, practice that, see if it works. Hit us at Carlie's Couch. Let us know, well, hold on, wait. I'm sorry. I'm about to get off this thing, and we got to shout out Niecia real quick. How can we support you?
It's so weird to hear you say my full name because you came along during the LaLa era and not the Niecia era. I'm like, Carlie.
I know, it's,
So
but
weird.
but
that is my name. I love my name a lot.
So where can people follow you and find you?
I'm on the gram. You can find me at Coach LaLa _V, like in victory. Website, CoachLaLaV.com.
Coach LaLa V.
TikTok, I'm really on it. Coach LaLa _V as well.
Same thing. How can they support you? What do you want them to do? Like just follow you? Do you want them to follow Thrive?
I want you to reach out to your HR department and tell them that you need to get a nutrition virtual seminar by me. I've done, that was one of the things I had on my manifestation board last year, and I've done 5 of them this year. Sat right on my computer, led groups of 20 or more, talking about nutrition, how to calculate your macros, et cetera, et cetera. So listen, write it down. It happens.
Okay, so you can reach out to, what's your email?
Coach LaLa V @gmail.com. You see how I did my branding there?
Consistent. Guess who's not consistent? I mean, all over the place. It's like CC Fierce, Carlie Capio.
Also, I'm rebranding my Thrive Health Lab website.
Okay.
Pulling in my little cousin who does marketing and branding.
Okay.
So in a minute, give me February 1st. Go ahead and look at the new website. The old website's up now. It still has it like, sorry, we're closed on there, but you can still contact us at Thrive Health Lab as well, because that's really what all the services go through. And that's it. But we'll be revamping and rebranding.
So excited again. Lexi, we missed you. We hope you're feeling
well.
Lexi.
Hope
I know. We'll have to do it again and bring Lexi back so LaLa can get the whole.
Got to tell you something. She invited me a long time ago. I even gave this girl a whole list of ideas that we could talk about. 6 years later, it takes Lexi getting sick. I feel away. Even though I hope Lexi feels better.
We did talk about one of the things that was on your list, which is pivoting. So
pivot, baby.
Pivot, baby. And we'll see y'all next week.